Football then and now. A warmer welcome. This is episode 111 of Football Then and Now. I am back with a returning guest. I'm Stuart Palmer, of course. I'm back with a returning guest and Aston Villa fan Brady Barlow. And we're going to touch upon latest news. Brady, great to have you back on. An eventful evening at the Emirates last night, and Arsenal are through to the final. Their fans are getting lambasted, saying they've jumped the gun. They think they've won it already. They were too excited. How would you feel, over two legs, winning a semi-final against a really good Atletico Madrid side? I don't get why people are like booting off and not happy about it.
I think they just, with the way that the season's been, I think they're just expecting more than the 1-0 that they got last night. But Atletico is still a very good side. And I'm sorry, but whoever makes it through from the other leg, I can't see them getting past them. They are too strong. Munich and PSG are too strong for Arsenal. I mean, if Arsenal play like we know they can play, I'll give them a game. They could nick it. But if they don't play at their full potential, I can't see anything more than Munich or PSG winning it. But from what I saw last night, they played well. They weren't amazing. They didn't set the world on fire. Saka got the goal. But not taking anything away from Arsenal, but I just think Atletico weren't on it last night.
It wasn't a big event, was it, in terms of chances, really, as such?
No.
Arsenal did what they needed to do. Arguably the best defence in Europe, in the world. You could say that, the amount of clean sheets they've had as well. Saka looks to be getting back to his best. He's had his injuries. We've spoken about him. He wasn't as impactful after the injuries, but the last couple of games, he looks like he's getting back to himself. He's coming to the fore now and showing his worth, isn't he? It's just Jamie O'Hara up in arms on Sky Sports News this morning. You are sour because you're a Spurs fan. Do you know what I mean? It was just, why are they letting him on the air?
He's sour because one, he's a Spurs fan, and two, everyone has took the mick out of him on Sky Sports, on 5 Live, on TalkSport, everything. Everything he goes on. Like, Bundy's been winding him up on TalkSport because Lincoln City did a video about they're going to be playing at Tottenham next season. So I think he's openly admitted he hates Arsenal, which he's ex-Spurs. It's understandable. But to be slating him as much as what he does, it's like watching Gary Neville. Like, we spoke about this before. He's so biased, it's unbelievable. I mean, if that was Spurs last night, he'd be bigging them up, saying they're amazing, blah, blah. He will not give Arsenal 1 ounce of, they played well. Yeah, they did well. Yeah, they got into the final. They did really good. They've done really well to get in. No, doesn't care. And I'm saying why he does anything to do with Arsenal. I think it literally is just for the clickbait.
It's ridiculous, though. It's ridiculous. It's just so damn sour. He's panicking that they could still get relegated. I know they won over the weekend, but you can just tell that's a man panicking being a Spurs fan. Look, there's a rivalry. Totally get it. They are North London rivals. We totally get it. It's just part of the thing. But yeah, it just came off so negative, and just give them a bit of praise,
Exactly. Especially when you're being a pundit, you've got to be in that grey area. Whether you've played for a certain team and you're talking about their vicious rivals, you have to be in that grey area when you're a pundit, because you're just made to look like an idiot. Because you can't go and slate Arsenal for how they're performing, how they performed last night, and celebrating the win to get into the final when you're fighting relegation. Now, if he was City, you could sort of go, well, yeah, we're going to nick the league from you, blah, blah. But you're fighting relegation and you're not being professional.
I just can't be doing with it. Like, you got to be impartial. Like I hear it like on the radio, they're very good. Like Pat Nevin, he played for Chelsea, played for Everton, but he never shows his allegiance to the teams he played for. He's very balanced. I say it all the time. Leon Osman, very good at the punditry. For as much stick as Chris Sutton gets, Chris Sutton was dead complimentary about Ipswich going up, his allegiance to Norwich. Even when Rangers have played well this season, I know Hearts are running away with it. Chris Sutton gets a lot of jip. But I think at least he's not been partial in his views with rivalries and stuff like that. Just how Jamie O'Hara gets the airtime, you can't deny that Arsenal could be on for a double here. But this is the enormity of it.
Well, the thing is, it's like I saw one with Alan Shearer a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about Sunderland. Now, that is a massive rivalry for him. Newcastle, Sunderland, massive rivalry. But he still gives respect where respect is due. He admitted Sunderland have played brilliant this season. For a team coming up, for a team who nobody thought they were going to do anything that they've done, he showered them with praise. And you'd think, hang about, you're ex-Newcastle through and through, die-hard Newcastle, and you're giving your bitter rivals respect and praise. And that's good punditry to me. Like you said, Leon Osman, Chris Sutton, Dion Dublin, there's so many that give... I mean, Mika Richards, he's a big City fan. He's actually... He'll say a bad word against United when they've played bad, but when it comes to just general talk, or if they've made it to a final or played well, he doesn't slate them. He gives them the props where they're due. And they have the problem is, Five Live have a lot of people like that. And I think it literally is just for the clickbait for the listeners. And Jamie O'Hara, go back to your dating show on Netflix. Leave the punditry to the people who can actually do it, for God's sake.
Without a doubt. Again, I think it's going to be very, very tough. We've got the second semi-final, second leg tonight. But before we get to that, I just want to say, have City dropped the ball in the title race after the 3-3 thriller with my Everton the other night. I did not see that second half performance coming. What a fight back from the Blues, of course. But City made errors. There's no two ways about it. But we still had to stick the chances away at the end of the day. Do you feel there's too big a gap? They've still got a game in hand, but they're now 5 points behind, aren't they? It could have been far worse, of course, had we won. It could have been 6, couldn't it?
I mean, Arsenal have got what? Arsenal have got 3 games left, haven't they? City have got 4. And is City's make-up game against Burnley?
I think they've got Palace, I think.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if they go and win that, they're back to within 2 points. And with 3 games left to play then, I think they still got a chance of doing it, because it only takes Arsenal 1 game to slip up on, and City to do what we know City can do, go and win all their games. So Arsenal got the pressure on, but it's all down to if they make it to the Champions League final, what are they going to do? Are you going to rest players in the league to go for the Champions League? Are you going to play your strongest side and risk getting injuries going into the final? It's all in City's hands, I think, because Arsenal they've got to manage it right, and if they don't, and they get the injuries in the areas that they don't want the injuries or don't need the injuries, they could cock up either way. And I think if you asked an Arsenal fan now, would they prefer to win the league or win the Champions League, I think a lot of them might say the league. I know they'd say a double, but if they had to choose, I think a lot of them would say the league. Because they haven't won it in so long, and it's pretty much the closest they've been in a while. If I was an Arsenal fan, I would go with the league over Champions League, personally. But yeah, it's all down to man management and how they're going to play it. I think City, they've just got to sit back and just watch what Arsenal do and just try and better what Arsenal do.
I've seen with Arteta, just to go back to Arsenal as well, Miles Skelly's been playing centre mid, so he has been rotating it a little bit. Zubamendi came on late on. He is starting to manage minutes getting into this most crucial part of the season now. So even he knows they've got to make the changes. Like that's a bold change, getting Miles Skelly in at centre mid, isn't it? You know, but you've got to make them calls. You're saying about rotation, the amount of games, the amount of minutes. You know, the managing of minutes now is crucial, and it's the same with City because City have got an FA Cup final yet as well. On top of it, they're going to want to win that. So City have got a tough run as well, haven't they? Ahead of them.
Yeah, they have, but I think. Personally, I think City are going to want to go for the league over the cup. If they get a sniff of the league and getting it back to within 2 points, I think they're going to. I think Arsenal will start looking more over their shoulder than what they already are doing. But I just think City, they know how to handle it, where a lot of these Arsenal players don't know how to handle it, with being this close to winning the league and having a cup final to go into. I think City are going to push more for the league than they are for the cup. I think Arsenal are going to see how City get on with their game in hand and play it that way. It's a tough one, but you know what football's like. Anything can go and happen.
It's a case of who could potentially lose a game here in the league. Do you know what I mean? Out the two of them, and you'd say on the basis of what they did against us on Monday night, I think in current form, City had won 4 in a row in the league actually before all this. Are they dropping off again? Because they had that period months and months ago where they had all them losses. I think the pressure's heavily on them. I truly do. You know, Arsenal know when that Champions League final is now. You know, you can have that in the back of your mind for a bit now, can't you? Focus on the league. Again, they're susceptible at the back. They've always been susceptible at the back, and they made mistakes and what have you against us, but we capitalised, and it could be argued we could have come out of that game with a win. Njai had 2 good chances where you'd, say he was home and hosed to bury them. We could have won that game quite easily in that second half. It was unbelievable, but Doku, I said it before kickoff, Jake O'Brien playing right back will be problematic, having to mark Doku. And I was proved correct. Like, he was an absolute nightmare. 2 quality finishes. Again, I would have started Nathan Patterson in that game, but he just does not want to play him. He just does not want to play him, or he's the natural right back.
But the thing is as well, Doku, he's come up against some world class right backs and made them look like schoolboys. He's that good of a player, so you can't really take that away from you, lad. But yeah, there was a couple of minor mistakes, which next season he might not make those mistakes against him or against players of Doku's caliber. I think your second half, you were brilliant second half. City did not expect you to come out firing the way that you did. I think they thought, yeah, they're going to roll over. They're going to give us this one. But a lot of people don't realise Everton have still got Europe to play for. There's still that sniff of a chance that you could get the Conference League. So I think teams going in against you, underestimating you, doing that at their own peril. And I think that's what City did. I think they just thought, yeah, we're cruising this, we'll get this one. But you came out and you just absolutely smashed it. I mean, Chris's favourite striker, Barry, coming up with a break.
Last week I said he was finished. I hold my hands up. I said he is finished, and he goes and does that.
Both of you did. I'm sure last time we spoke about an Everton game, going into an Everton game, you both slated one player and they ended up coming up scoring.
Yeah, I'm going to keep doing it, I think, because it seems to bear fruit and it comes to fruition. But again, I will say, I will say it was just, I could see what was coming. And our fans are moaning about added time. There were substitutions in added time. And obviously, balls going out, fouls and stuff. So everyone was like, he went over the 96. It went to 97, didn't it? But there were stoppages in play, Brady. So people on our end, certain sectors of the fan base, had sour grapes that he added an extra minute on. But he had to add it on. He had to add it on. There were stoppages within that. So
this is what people don't realise. Just because you're in added time and somebody makes a substitution, that 30 seconds gets added on. Or if a player's down injured, it gets added on. Because if it was on the other foot and it was them and they didn't add extra time on, they were going for a goal scoring opportunity and the referee blew the whistle because it was exactly 95 minutes, they'd be fuming. So I think people they don't realise the rules of the game. They don't realise that if you do a substitution in added time, you get the added minutes onto it. But yeah, it can't take anything away from your performance second half. First half, you did your usual. Second half, you did the unusual.
I hate calling it the low block because it's what everyone calls it. At the end of the day, far too defensive. Take the low block out of it. It's a modern terminology. Does my nuts in. We were too defensive trying to play counter. So we were sat back too much. They came out and attacked the ball more. They just thought, we'll go for this. But that is Moyes in a nutshell. It's as much the mental. Because, the players, are they good enough? That's the question. But mentally, Moyes can get those lads prepared to believe that they can do it. And Irrigaboomim starting, I was a bit like, I don't know, but he's been brilliant when he's played this season. He truly has. Merlin Roll hadn't played since January against you guys. Played him out on the right wing. I was a bit, there was 3 areas there I was a bit iffy about. O'Brien being right back, but he was always going to do that. But Roll and Irrigaboomim stepped up. Tim obviously got man of the match, but Merlin Roll was in the conversation to get man of the match as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 young players that you've got that have got minutes under their belt playing against some of the best players in the league. And that's just going to improve you going into next season. I mean, playing in a game like that and for Tim to get man of the match against some of the players that he's played, against the way Doku played, especially, and still get man of the match because of it, it shows what type of player he is and what type of player he can be going forward for you.
100%. Really, really good. Again, City are not out of this title race, though. There's a long way to go yet in the back end. It truly is. If I have to ask you now, who's going to get it? And we'll ask this again next week and probably the week after, and then the final week of the season. But top of your head now, who do you see getting over the line and winning that Premier League title?
Honestly, City.
Okay.
Realistically, at the moment, as it stands, Arsenal. But in my head, I've got City going for it.
There's a lot of hatred for Arsenal. It's unbelievable. Like a lot of it.
I don't hate Arsenal. I just think City are just going to pull it out and they're just going to go for it.
I mean, hatred from there's Man United fans that are going back 20 years and it was the biggest rivalry back then. It was Wenger and Ferguson, everything about it. A lot of fans have come out and said, I don't want Arsenal to win it. Arsenal haven't won it for 22 years. Let's get someone different. But I also think because they've come so close under Arteta, people have gone against them. Fans of other clubs as well. The Spurs fans don't want to see it. That's evident and obvious that that's going to happen. But there is so many fans being very outspoken, not wanting the Gunners to get the title.
No, it's kind of unfair. If it was the other way around, if it was United going for the title, everyone would be saying they shouldn't get it, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if it's because Arsenal have been so close the past few years and Arteta just can't get them over the line. People hate Arsenal or do they hate Arteta for not giving them that little kick on? If you understand what I mean. Do they hate Arsenal or do they hate Arteta? Because I think even United fans would rather see, deep down, they'd rather see Arsenal win it than City win it.
Definitely. Someone different for a change. That's how I'm looking at it. And again, just before we move on to Bayern and PSG, West Ham, Arsenal, huge implications there. Let's bring West Ham in. Me and Sam spoke about this game last week leading into it. With Spurs winning on the weekend, of course, now it's huge for West Ham, this. So Arsenal have got a hell of a tough game coming up there. And Brentford City as well. That's on the weekend. So again, there's a lot to play for. Brentford are trying to get into the automatics for Europa League, aren't they? That's what they're trying to do. So there's huge implications going into the weekend, isn't there?
Yeah, massive implications. West Ham, they're 2 points behind Spurs now, is it? I mean, yeah, West Ham, they've got everything to play for. So have Arsenal. I think those two games in particular, they've both got something on it. Like both games, you've got Arsenal going for the title, West Ham trying to stay up. You got Brentford going for Europe. You got Arsenal. You got City going for the title. So they're two very big games in different parts of the league. And normally you wouldn't see something like that at this point of the season, where you'd have two big games with only a few games left to go. Normally it's signed, sealed, and delivered for the majority of it anyway.
It's gonna be major on the weekend. That's massive. It's absolutely massive. So yeah, we'll see what happens over the weekend there domestically in the Premier League. And moving on, we've got Bayern versus PSG. What a barnstormer the first leg was. PSG got it to 5-2 at one point. I was saying Bayern were going to beat them the first leg and then go through on the second leg. I was panicking. I thought, please don't let me predict anything ever again. Bayern come back and get it to 5-4. What a game. One of the best games in recent history in football. Just free-flowing, attacking football. It was refreshing, Brady, wasn't it? It just wasn't boring. And it was great for the neutral. But we go into this. Akraf Hakimi is injured, of course. Zaire Emery will come in for PSG. PSG have done a lot of rotating throughout the season. They're able to, being in France. They've rotated. There's been a lot of players who've only played 50%, 60% of the games this season. Because, Ligue 1 is not the strongest. You can rotate, so they're going to be fresh.
Yeah.
What do you see happening in this second leg tonight? I can't rule Bayern out being at home. I've still got Bayern going through.
To be honest, I'm with you. I've got Bayern going through. I just think Bayern are just they're going to come out firing, because that place is going to be bouncing tonight. And I just think the fans are going to... We all know what what German fans can be like. They're either your biggest supporter or they want to crucify you. And I just think Bayern Munich at home, I mean, we had it a couple of seasons when we played there, and that place can just be... It's unbelievable. I mean, I just think Bayern are just going to come out swinging for the fences. It's, excuse the French, shit or bust. They're either going to absolutely walk all over PSG, or they're just going to nick it. But I think Bayern are going to get it.
Look at Luis Enrique, what he said. They're going to come out firing again tonight. He said it won't be defensive. They're going to come out. Both teams come out.
You can't be. I think if it was still 5-2 or 5-3, I think he could be a bit more defensive. But I think with it only being one goal at Munich, he's got to come out firing. If he doesn't, it only takes Bayern one goal to get back in it, and you're back to square one. So I think they just need to come out swinging for the fences. I think that's what both of them are going to do. But I just think Bayern Munich are just going to end up being too strong for them.
It gets bandied around. We've been saying this for years, the front three, because in the modern game, the front three became a thing, tactically, formations and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you've got Harry Kane, Luis Diaz and Elise, who've got 100 goals, over 100 goals between them. And that's without assists. you know, it's the best front three in Europe, in the world, and that moves around year on year. But that front three, I think that's what's going to get him over the, you know, over the line here. But you can't take away from Kvaratskhelia, Doué, Dembele as well. They're fantastic in their own right, aren't they?
Yeah, but I just think that front three of Munich, I don't think we've seen a front three like this since Messi, Neymar, and thingy at Barcelona. I just think the three of them up top, they're just doing it for fun. Honestly, I mean, Diaz going from how he was at Liverpool. I mean, he wasn't a bad player at Liverpool. A lot of Liverpool fans didn't want to see him go, but I just think since he's been at Munich, I think he's just been given free rein to go and show his talent. And Elise, from what you saw at Palace to what you're seeing at Munich, it's completely different. I mean, we all knew he was a good player at Palace and he was going to go somewhere, but he's just full-blown kicked on. And Harry Kane, we know what Harry Kane can do. Love him or hate him, he is probably one of the best. Him and Haaland are probably the two top strikers, out-and-out strikers in the world, probably since Messi and Ronaldo were in Europe.
Without a doubt. And it's going to be incredible at the Allianz tonight. It's just going to be superb. And it could be what we saw last week. We could have the same type of match here if we're taking Luis Enrique's comments and what he's saying. They are going, both sides will come out, and I'm thinking we can get more of the same tonight. It's not going to be tentative. It's not going to be defensive. And again, you know, I think whoever faces Arsenal, though, it's going to be interesting to see what Arsenal do. You know, as strong as they've been defensively, can they quell it? Are they able to quell both of these attacks? Whoever gets through, that's the big question for the final, isn't it? Because Arsenal are so strong at the back. But how do you stop this? How do you stop this deluge of attack?
I don't know. This is why I just think Arsenal aren't going to win it. I just don't think. Yeah, they've got one of the strongest defences in the world at the moment, but like I said, Munich, even just behind their front three, same with PSG, they've got players that can hurt you from anywhere. Literally anywhere. That one little pass that you weren't expecting and they'll thread it through, or that one long range. I mean, they've all got top managers in the hot seats who know how to handle games like this, but I just think Munich, whether it's Munich or PSG, I just think they're going to be too strong for Arsenal.
Definitely, without question. I'm going to go 3-2 to Bayern tonight. Obviously, that would level it up, wouldn't it? I think we're going to see extra time. So in normal time, I'm going to go 3-2, and I think they're going to edge it in extra time. I don't think it'll get to penalties. Again, no away goal. No, I know no away goal's been a thing for a few years now. I've got that. I think we're going to see extra time, and I'm going to see Bayern just edge it and get through.
I'm saying 3-1 Bayern.
Okay.
In the 90 minutes.
I hate doing predictions, as you know, because I'm awful at it. So I won't be putting any money on tonight, Brady. Let me tell you, because I won't be getting anything back. I will stay away from Sky Bet this evening. Gamble responsibly, as we always say too on this show. So yeah, we've both got Bayern going through there. It'd be interesting to see what Chris would have thought, actually. I'd like to have heard his take on this, and he's not with us today. But leading into the Europa League semi-final second leg, your Aston Villa coming to Villa Park, 1 goal advantage for Forest into the second leg. Again, it was very tight. There wasn't much in it last week, was there at all? To be fair to you, what did you take away from the first leg? What were your takeaways from that, from the Villa side of things?
I just, for how we've performed in Europe and how we've performed earlier on in the league, it looked like a different team. I mean, for the size of game that it was, we were good going forward, but the final ball just was nowhere near what the standard should be. And the referee did well the majority of the game. There was a couple of, it was more VAR. I mean, it was a handball, it was a penalty. I'm not taking that away, but the fact that they couldn't get a clear view of whether it had gone out or not means they shouldn't have given it. It should have stood as the on-field. And then missing Elliot Anderson's, if you want to call it, a tackle on Watkins and nearly snapping his ankle, and VAR not getting involved. I just think the game was played well by Forest. They played very well in it, but I just think tomorrow night Villa just need to come out and show what we can do. European nights at Villa Park. We just need to come out and show everybody what we can do, like what we did against PSG a few seasons ago. I think we just need to be firing on all cylinders. I'd play Dougie Luiz in the number 6. Bogart's a good player, but I just think we need that player that has got the forward thinking. And I just think stick Dougie in next to Tielemans. You've got that forward thinking there. And I think Villa Park's going to be bouncing regardless.
Absolutely.
And they just need to go out, show people what they're capable of, and just enjoy it. Like what we did second half against PSG the other season. Just enjoy it. And it will come. You play with a bit of attentiveness. We all know Forest are very good. They shouldn't be, for the players that they've got, they shouldn't be where they are in the league. I think they're going to come out as well. They're going to try and get an early goal. And I think that's where Villa could punish them.
There wasn't much in it, mate. There was not much in it. I think Martinez had to make a hell of a save. Ortega had to make a hell of a save. There wasn't that much in the way of chances. It was very tight, very tight. And again, I can see you getting through, but Forest have been in form. Forest have been playing really good in the league as well. Pereira is playing to those players' strengths. He truly is. Dyche wanted to play it his way, and Chris Wood was out injured at the time. So Dyche ball would have worked with Chris Wood up top, but he didn't have him. He was out. And, you've got that out ball. I'm not disputing it. But Pereira has got those lads. Your Gibbs White, for instance, playing to their strengths on the floor, getting it forward, using... You can just see the difference in tactics with Pereira over what Dyche was doing.
Yeah. I mean, the past couple of weeks, they've shown glimpses of what they were like last season. And you just think, where's this been all season? You've waited till now to start playing like this. And I don't know if it's down to the management. I don't know if it's down to the board throwing things off or their wacky owner throwing things off with getting involved too much. But I think the players, they look like they're enjoying their football. From what I've seen on the weekend and the past couple of weeks, they look like they're enjoying their football again. And that's what niggles me at the back of my mind. It's their first semi-final in a very long time in Europe. Yeah, we've played the first leg, but you've got to get over the line in this second one. And I'm just hoping we're going to be too strong for them, get an early goal on a breakaway, and we can just play our game then, because they've then got to come out and attack us for it. I think if they go and neck an early goal, I think it's going to be hard for us.
The pressure will well and truly be on. Then you've got to get that first goal. But we've said it on this show many a time. Emery Emery is the man in this competition. It always gets spoken about. He loves this competition, and with how the league's been going, you might need to win this now to get the Champions League, mightn't you, potentially? And that's what's at stake here, isn't it? If they don't do it in the league, it's this is your avenue into the Champions League, isn't it? It's massive. It's massive for Villa, and it's huge for Forest because they've been down the bottom.
This is the thing. I mean, I was looking at the league the other day, and Bournemouth are only 6 points behind us now.
Yeah.
So it only takes us to go and lose a couple of games. I mean, our last 3 against Burnley, Liverpool, and City. So it only takes us to go and lose those last 2 games, and Bournemouth to go and win, and they're above us, and they go into the Champions League in 5th place. So. Yeah, it's gonna be a very good night. It's gonna be a very good game, and it's not gonna be let's sit back and see what the other team does first.
The 12th man at your place is the big factor there, 100%. And that crowd, we know what that crowd gets like for the big nights, especially over the last 2 or 3 years in Europe that you've had. So yeah, just to press you again, prediction. What's your result for tomorrow night, mate?
Honestly, I'd love us to go and smash them 3-1, but I think it'll be 2-1. Last minute Tammy Abraham goal. I just think it's going to be good. It's going to be end to end, but it's going to be down to who gets the first goal. Honestly.
Massive.
George, who have you got?
I think I'm going to say you guys. It's not me pandering to you, but I just think you're going to have too much at home tonight. I truly believe it. I think they may have learned from the first leg what they've got to do, and it's a different beast at Villa Park. It truly is. So
yeah.
That crowd, the atmosphere, we've seen it so many times in recent times. I just can't see past Villa winning it. I think I'm gonna go 3-1 tonight to Villa, but we shall see. We shall see. Definitely. I was going to ask just before we go as well, is it going to be West Ham or Spurs to get relegated just before we go? Because there's games to play yet.
If I was going by how Spurs performed on the weekend, I mean, they were good against us. They weren't brilliant. We were crap. Couldn't hit a barn door, couldn't put a pass together. That's taking nothing away from Spurs' goal. But I just think West Ham got more heart and desire in them, I feel. And I think it could be Spurs going down.
You made a whole host of changes in that game as well. That's what people are forgetting. Not to make that a big thing or anything. The players will come in and do what they need to do. But Emery's had one eye on this second leg, didn't he, as well? That's where people are missing things there. It wasn't the strongest Villa 11. With good reason. He wants everybody ready for this game tomorrow night, doesn't he? But again, Richarlison, I've seen Spurs fans lambast him at times. Who better? Who's been battle tested in relegation battles with his time at our place? He gets so much flack, Richarlison. And I'm going to be biased, Braids. I'm going to be biased, of course I am. But I think he's unjustly criticised by the Spurs contingent. I truly believe that because he's got so much experience in relegation battles.
Yeah, I don't think he had the best start of Spurs' career, did he? When he first went there from you lot, I think his head got a bit big for him because he went to one of the so-called top 6 bigger clubs, and it wasn't going his way. But like you said, he knows how to play in these sort of games. He knows what it takes to get across the line, and I think they've got a lot of players there that have never been through this situation before. They've always been comfortable playing the way that they've played, and the past couple of seasons they haven't been good enough, nowhere near good enough. So I just think unless they get the right formula going, they get a little run behind them now. Yeah, there's only 3 games left, but if they can go get a win this weekend and West Ham drop points, it gives them that bit of a breather going into the last 2. But if they don't, they need to win every game now, because West Ham are going to be biting at their heels until the last game of the season.
You know, and they dropped points last weekend, which is crazy because they were on a good run of form. You know, Nuno has turned it around. He really has from when he first came in. He has. They've been on a great bit of form again. Then they lost the game on the weekend after beating us the previous week. So there's just everything to play for. It's crazy, but the Tottenham fans will lose their minds if they're down in the Championship. They truly will. That great big stadium, everything, you know, that encapsulates Spurs. But yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm not sure who's going to go. I can't call it, mate.
It is one of those. I think if there was a couple more points between it, it'd be easier to call. But I think because of how close it is and with the run-ins that they've got, it is that hard. And it's all down to grit and determination, the fire in the bellies, who wants it more. And I just think West Ham won it more. Because they didn't play bad on the weekend. They just, unfortunately, came up against a very good side at the time. So I just think with the run-ins, with everything, I think Spurs are just going to drop the ball.
We will see. We shall see leading into the last weeks of the season. And Brady, thank you so much for coming on. I'm looking forward to this second leg this evening. Bayern versus PSG. Are we going to get a repeat here of the game from last week? I hope we are. As neutrals, of course, it'd be amazing to see. And all the best to Villa on Thursday evening as well. Forest, though, have been playing well. Like you said, you know, you've been very honest about Forest, especially in that first leg. So, yeah, looking forward to the next 2 nights of football. It's going to be amazing. We'll be back. We are going to do a nostalgic episode. Brady came up with a topic, our favourite Premier League goals in history. We're going to do it with Chris because he likes the nostalgic topic. So we're going to leave it and do it with Chris. That will be coming up very, very soon. Thanks again, Brady, for coming on. Always a pleasure having you.
No worries. And don't forget, if anybody has any goals that they can think of that they'd really like, drop it in the comments just so we can discuss them and see if they match with ours.
I like it. And we'll see you next week for episode 112 of Football Then and Now. Football Then and Now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.